My favorite player I remember back then was Carmelo Anthony. And so I would try and copy unsuccessfully all the stuff he used to try. But
How you feeling, man? You good?
I'm excellent, bro. I'm excellent. How are you?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I can't complain. Um, we got 25 minutes. Let's make it a good 25 minutes, all
Perfect.
right? All right, so let me start it off. Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Frank Nitty, and we have a legend in the building, Daniel Ezra. You guys all know him as Spencer James, hardworking, out the mud. Man, I love everything you do. I love everything you do.
Thank you.
And I'm just saying that because I shot my first short film, and I want to say acting is the hardest thing in the world, and you absolutely destroy that shit, bro. You are talented on another level, bro. So
Thank
just had to give you flowers before I start. Um, but let's get to the first question. Okay. So before we get into the movie, I saw that you grew up playing basketball. How would you describe your game? Give me somebody like you play like, or
Oh, I wasn't even good enough to play like anybody. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like I was good enough to get on the team, and our team was good. Um, as good as a team from the UK can be. Um, and the only reason I was really effective is I was quick and I'm left-handed.
ah,
So I used to throw people off a lot. But other than that, there was nothing really special about my game. I was athletic and I loved it and I loved to play, but there was nothing particularly special. My favorite player I remember back then was Carmelo Anthony. And so I would try and copy unsuccessfully all the stuff he used to try. But but that was it. That was it. Definitely didn't have a future in basketball.
man, it's a tough sport. That's crazy. You brought up Melo. That's perfect. That actually goes into my next question.
Mm.
Since I was your favorite player, been interviewed by him, 2011. How was that? Take me through that, bro. Like, and like him and his son getting together to watch your show, bro. Like, that's pretty insane, right?
Yeah, that was one of those moments. Every night there's been particular pinch myself moments where I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe this is happening. I'm a very future orientated person, so I sometimes forget to celebrate the moment. Sometimes forget to really take stock of what's happening. Oh, this is a milestone. This is a moment. This is something that I couldn't even have dreamed about. And I'm very bad at recognizing that and enjoying it and taking a second because I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I'm always thinking about the next thing. But that was one of those times where I remember I told him in the interview, I said, I used to be my screensaver. Like I used to have you on the front of my phone in high school, you know?
That's fire.
So that was one of those moments where I forced myself to take a moment and be like, yo, you just had a conversation with Carmelo Anthony. If teenage me could see me now, he'd be bugging out. So yeah, it was beautiful.
That's a fact. That's dope as hell, man. I feel like that's that hustle, that grind, that grit, bro. Like, same thing with me. Like, I'm so focused on, okay, we achieved that. What's next? Like, I gotta
Yeah,
work. What's
yeah.
next? We gotta stay busy. We got people we gotta support. So I
But
definitely,
also you got to remember too that there's things you have now that 10-year-old you, 15-year-old you would have lost their minds at. And so it's about finding that balance. As I get older, I'm realizing that, oh, there's things I have now that looking from the perspective of 18, things I've achieved, it would be blowing my mind if you told me, yo, this is what's going to happen to you at this point. So we have to, especially as men, I think we have to remember to take a second and pat ourselves on the back a little bit and be like, sometimes we feel as men, as black men, we feel like if we do that, we're taking our foot off the gas or we're
yeah,
messing up or something, but we're honestly not. That can is usually the thing that galvanizes us to go to the next step. So don't be afraid to do that.
I appreciate that, man. I try to remind myself to take the small wins. The small
That-
wins matter.
It's
Small.
only small wins. It's very rare. is it like a big win? And even the biggest of wins, when you break them down, it's just a series of small ones.
Yeah,
I think it's only small wins. I don't really think the big wins exist. I think if they can be broken down, you realize, oh, it's even those are steps. So yeah, you're
yeah.
right.
Facts. Okay, so talking about wins. Okay, is this? I wasn't sure. Is this your first feature film?
Yeah, yeah. First feature film. I thank you.
Oh yeah.
I came up in theater. I did theater, and then I did TV for a long time. And then yeah, this is my first feature film.
Okay, so um, okay, so Edgar Wright. Do you have a favorite Edgar Wright film? That was a question. I had a big movie buff friend who wanted me to ask. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask that one for you. Do you have one?
All right. So biased wise, I would say this one, but let's take this one out for a second. I would say Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's a good one.
I would say Shaun of the Dead. I think. I
That's a
think.
good one.
I think. Yeah. If I had to pick, I'd say that one. He has such a unique style, and his films are always special and memorable because he has a vision. You know, so it's making a movie is hard. It's so hard from every level, and if you can make it but still have your own unique stamp on it, where
Yeah.
when it comes out, people know, oh, this is an Edgar Wright film or this is a Tarantino film. That's a whole nother level of
Yeah.
art. Um,
Yep.
and he stayed true to that while still trying to get better and better and better. So, yeah, he's a special one to work with, and I couldn't have been happier like doing my first movie with him, with someone like him.
Man, a feat in itself. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't see a lot of promotion on my end for the Running Man. I saw a
Right.
few things that made me interested, but when I
Hmm.
went and watched it, it was actually something I told everybody about. I'm like, no, y'all, this is fire. Like the
Yeah.
concept,
Yeah.
the heart behind it. Like anytime you have somebody like your character, like just looking out, like, nah, look, this how you do it. Like bro, that whole moment, everything in itself was like so dope to see somebody. I feel like in this day and age, it's a lot of Karens.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like if we on a run, we ain't got nobody to help us.
yeah,
So
yeah,
for
yeah.
you
They're
to
gonna
be that
record us first.
character, yeah, exactly, bro, exactly. Everybody's
Yeah,
so quick to rat us out, right? So
yeah,
for you to be that character to like bring that all to fruition, I was like, nah, this is fire. So I told
yeah,
everybody about it, the concept, the humor, the heart, the grind, the intensity, the passion. I'm like, everything was there for me. I love movies. So everything was there for me. I think it'll do fucking numbers. So I'm excited to see what my peers think. I always had him reach back out to me after they watch a movie that I'll co-sign.
yeah.
So that's definitely a thing that I take my hat off to. Y'all killed that part.
Thank
Um,
you.
no problem, no problem. Okay, so another question: do you yourself ever wonder how would I survive the game?
Yeah, I think during the press and the making, I did because it's a crazy game,
Yeah.
and me personally, I'd never sign up for something like that. But if
Oh
I
no, no.
had,
Yeah.
if I had no choice, I think I'm gonna try and it's gonna be yeah. I'm gonna hide. I think I'm gonna go underground,
Yeah.
hide, not talk to nobody. I'm gonna try and just stay in the shadows. I think that's what I would do. I don't think I would do the disguises or things like that
No.
because I wouldn't trust it. I think I would just try and be out of sight for as long as possible.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reward is just I wouldn't put. It kind of remind me of Queen and Slim. Like
Mm.
in the sense of that reward, somebody's always going to take that reward, regardless of who it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Times are hard.
Yeah.
So I feel like the same way. I would go into hiding, pre-record my tapes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like worst case, pay somebody to send them. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just hard because they have people watching the boxes. You gotta
Everything.
like it's no way to really, really win. Um
No, it's set up. It's set up for you
yeah,
to fail. That's the system.
it's
Um.
it's set up for you to fail or to have the best plot twist. And
Yeah.
spoiler alert, if y'all ain't watched it or when this is y'all, I'm giving you a hand up right now. The best plot twist was the running man becoming a hunter.
Yeah.
I think that concept of, oh, you thought you won? Nah, you elite enough to be one of our hunters now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is an amazing concept, and that's what like brought the whole movie together for me
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
So, give me your take on that part of it, really quick before we go to the next question.
Yeah. I thought it was a beautiful twist because it reminded me of, you seen the what's it called? The Dark Knight.
Oh, my favorite movie.
Yeah, there's that line in there where it's like you either die a hero or live
Oh,
long enough to become.
villain.
That's what it made me think of. And there's a version of that where it does go super dark, and he's like, okay, cool, and you see it because that's basically the dude that's hunting him. That's basically what he went through,
Yep,
and it's like, yo,
100%.
you went special. They put me through this. I got even further than you, but I took the dark path. He managed to stay in the light a little bit, Ben Richards, but the guy before him, he took the dark path, and you can understand. You can justify it in the world they live in. They kind of left him no choice, and so, yeah, I thought that was a beautiful like moral twist, and it made me understand the villain more.
Yeah.
McCone, the guy that's chasing him, I
Uh-huh.
almost like felt I felt like a deeper connection to him because I was like, oh, I have a glimpse of what you've been through now, and I understand the choices you've made. So yeah,
I feel like when they humanize the villains, that just does so much more for me than just a villain being a villain.
yeah,
Like
100%.
they did that with Thanos a little bit, and I just was like, damn, okay, I kind of see where you coming from.
Yeah, Thanos wasn't even a villain in his mind. The best villains see
Oh,
themselves as heroes.
yep,
I
100.
really do think the best villains always see themselves as heroes, and I think Thanos 100% thought he was the hero in that story.
Yep, 1,000%. That's fire. That's fire. Okay, so you recently played quarterback. You play wide receiver, so it sounds like I'm sorry, Glenn
Receiver, yeah,
Powell. Glenn Powell.
yeah.
Talk to me. So Glenn Powell, who has a history of playing athletes. Who's a better
Hmm.
athlete between the two of you?
um, it depends on the sport. I'm gonna assume he's from the South. He's from Texas. I'm gonna assume he is better at football. Um, I grew up in the UK. I had to learn football for the show for All American. So I
Oh
didn't.
shit!
Yeah, I didn't know. The first time I touched the football was 2 weeks before we started shooting. So I was so it was against me.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say him. Plus, I know he done a ton of training for this, but I do like to stay ready athlete wise. So I feel like it'd be close. It'd be close.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
My favorite part about like actors and models is a lot of y'all don't play sports, but y'all play the sports in the movie or TV show
Yeah.
or the modeling gig, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes that shit is bad.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you make that shit believe. Man, I would have thought you played quarterback your whole life, bro.
I remember we did there's a shot that haunts me in this might be season 1 or season 2 where I did something and it wasn't a good. I ran a route and it was supposed to be like a hitch or something, and it sucked and it didn't work. It didn't look good, and it was super super early, and that's the one they ended up using, and they even slowed it down. They had music, and I'm like, why are y'all making it look? It was a terrible route. It was just a terrible route. I'm sure I got it at some point. But it was a terrible route. I was still learning the sport, and so I became very dedicated to at least looking like I know what I'm doing. And so every summer when we were off,
Yeah.
I'd go to the park and just run. I would just run drills. I'd have friends that I'd made who played in college come and just show me how to run routes and just, train me like I'm training for your team. And because I was like, before this thing's over, I want to be able to really play this thing. So I got better and better over time. But it was a journey for sure.
That's fire as hell. Listen, I'm pretty sure when you pick up that phone, people willing to help at this point, right? You
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
man now. Like you don't got those issues.
Yeah. People were super helpful. We had some amazing stunt guys that played like in the NFL, played in college. So yeah, I had a good amount of resources around me.
Okay, that's fire. That's fire. Okay, so talking about Glenn. Um, so that was the question. He recently played quarterback. You played wide receiver. So it sounds like you two have a great chemistry. I'm assuming you two were playing catch up on set. Tell me how you two build chemistry.
So Glenn's really cool, right? He's really good at being the lead because the energy starts from the top down. It kind of starts with the director and the lead, and whatever energy they're bringing in is going to filter out to everything else. And so Glenn made a real effort with me in just getting to know me and just us sitting down. We would chop it up in his trailer. We would, talk about life and careers and goals and ambitions. So by the time we got to the scenes, there was a familiarity that we had, that we could work off that was real. We genuinely became friends and colleagues and felt close and comfortable because my character, brings him into his home and risks his life and does all that stuff. So you wanted that to come from a place of authenticity and realness. And I feel like that's kind of just who he is and how he is. But I also feel like on a professional level, it just makes the scenes a bit more real because we have a real relationship. And so he's really good at doing that because there's going to be some actors out there that like they're going to sit in their trailer all day, they're not going to talk to nobody, you only going to see them when it's time to work, and then they're going to go and do what they got to do. Glenn's not like that. He wants everyone to feel involved like a family, and he did that really really well with me, and I think it helped for sure.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I felt the connection in watching it. I feel like it was you guys, like I said, you guys had everything for me. And I really like moms.
Yeah.
Moms was a true black mom's like, oh nah, you gotta get him out of here.
Yeah,
I was
there's only
like,
yeah, there's only so much because black moms, they sweet, and they my
yeah,
mom is like that. She
yeah,
is so kind and so selfless, but there's a limit.
yep.
There's a
100.
point in which you bringing too much noise around the place now. You gotta. So that was very true. That rang very true.
Got you, got you. This a personal question, really quick.
Hmm.
Getting your accent to go from what it is to Americanized.
Yeah,
How hard is that, bro? Like you sound listen, I'm from LA, born and raised.
yeah,
You sound like you from here. Like I can't distinguish the difference. Like, is that hard for you?
yeah. I'm definitely not a parrot. There's people that can just hear it and just give it right back to you. For me, it takes a lot of work, but I think it's just because I set myself a really high goal, right? So
I think we are struggling right now. Mine's paused. Me.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there you go. All right, I'm about to put him back. All right.
yo,
Yo, go ahead. My bad. I don't know what
yeah,
happened.
no, you good. Yeah, so like convincing like someone that's from the UK that they're from where I'm from, that I'm from, Americans kind of easy, right? Because they're not familiar with the sound. My goal is I want to be able to convince someone like yourself, like a
Yeah,
native, that
yep,
I grew up down the street. And so to do that, learning the sounds is one thing, but I try and like immerse myself in like the culture. I want to learn the slang. I want to see the rhythm. I want to see how they move when they talk.
yeah,
And so, yeah, I always try and go to that next level where I can convince a native that I'm from where they're from, and that's different. That's not the same as having the sounds. LA dudes have a particular swag, like they move a certain way. The rhythm is different. If you took like an LA dude and a New York dude and like even if you took away the accent, there's still gonna be just how they move and how they act is gonna be, that rhythm's gonna be different, you know. And so I look for those things and those details, and that's what makes it more convincing.
Yeah. Smart
Yeah,
as hell. I've never heard it explained that way. That's fire. We definitely have mannerisms and how we talk and move that make it make sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, let me go to a basketball question.
Okay.
What type of NBA player do you think would be the best on the running man? Is it someone quick and crafty like Kyrie, real athletic and confident like Anthony Edwards, super intelligent, deceiving like Jokic?
It's gonna have to be someone that can keep their cool. Like, who would you say has like the most even temper in the NBA?
Bron.
Bron. Bron's big though. I feel like he's gonna be. He can't hide
Oh, he's
nowhere.
gonna stand out. He gonna
He's
stand
gonna
out.
stand out. I feel like maybe Kyrie. Maybe Kyrie's a good person. Bron, you almost need Bron temperament because you need someone that's gonna be able to keep their cool under pressure.
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe Kyrie, someone like Kyrie might be able to blend in a little bit more. Or Steph maybe could blend in a little bit more. But Bron's gonna stand out. Bron walks down the street, you know that's him.
Yeah, that's true. I was about to say you need somebody that's level headed, but like rugged, but not too tall, not too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question.
They got yeah, they got to blend in.
Yeah, I think Kyrie is the best answer.
I think
Just because I feel like level headed, highly intelligent.
yeah. And
Yeah,
he's quick. So if shit hits the fan and you gotta run, I feel like he can dip.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides working with a great cast and director,
Mm.
you get to be in a movie based on Stephen King novel. Do you have a favorite King book or movies based off of one of his books?
They just did a movie of a book called The Long Walk.
We actually did one of these for the long walk.
Oh yeah, that was a really dope. It's a really dope book, and the concept is, I'm a sucker for a great concept, and that's it's such a simple original concept that these dudes just have to walk, and they just have to walk into it's to build a whole movie around that. Even when the movie was announced, I'm like, how are you gonna film that? It's just dudes walking.
Literally.
But it's they pulled it off. Um, yeah, maybe I picked that one. Um, yeah, maybe I picked that one. I also think like it was great. Um, and then this one, I mean, even you're never gonna get the whole book inside a movie. And
Yeah.
one of the things that in this one, the Running Man book, that like my favorite thing about Bradley was he the book really showcased how intelligent he was. There was a whole scene, not scene, but like chapter where he tells Ben about how he learned all this stuff about like the air pollution and stuff, and basically him and his crew would they had a suit, they stole a suit, and they dressed up as a dude to get a library card because library cards were almost illegal, and they would one by one take turns sneaking into the library and read books. And so his character just like read basically every book in the library and just self-educated himself on how the government works, and the book went deeper into how he learned all this stuff and learned the truth about all the conspiracies. And I just thought, man, he's a street dude, but he's so intelligent and he's self-made and all that stuff. And all that stuff was so rich in the book, and it just made the book like it just blew me away. And he does go into that kind of detail in his books, in same with The Long Walk, same in it, where you feel like these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe The Long Walk, I'd say.
Fire. Yeah, I enjoyed that too. Shout out Garrett and Tia. We had a good time. We actually walked and did the podcast in the middle of walking on a treadmill.
Oh
So,
wow.
yeah, it was funny as shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Before the popularity of All American, you spent years doing an episode or two on random shows and basketball. You can bounce around from team to teams. You have this mentality like you have the skills to be a star. You need your number called or that shot. Can you show or so you can show what you can do? Is that mentality you had, or are you just like how do you like figure that out for yourself?
Some of it's a mentality. Like when I set my mind to something, I get very determined. I get very focused, um, and I get very obsessive about things. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so once the goal's clear, like I need to show up in this way, that's kind of everything becomes that. Everything kind of becomes about that. Obviously, you can take that too far, and you gotta be careful, because I know a lot of people where they're so obsessive that they never start, or they're such a perfectionist that they never finish. And
Mm.
so you have to know when the job's done, and you can be okay with it, because there's no such thing as perfect, really, at the end of the day. But yeah, I would say I've had that mindset since I was a kid, about just wanting to do something well and do something right, and enjoying the fact that I'm really passionate, especially when it's something you love. I love stories, and I love telling stories and being a part of telling stories, and I want it to be told in the best way. And so I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. I'm not in control of the whole thing. I can't do nothing about how it's marketed, about what other people are doing, and anything like that. But I can make sure that when I show up, I'm where I'm supposed to be, and as good as I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, that's fire. I love how you gave the highs and lows of that question,
Yeah.
because I have a friend who is really good at acting, and she'll come back from her acting classes and like she's a wreck. And then I also we obviously heard about all the Heath Ledger stuff, to where you don't know how to get out of that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I feel like those are great points for any actor or any aspiring actor who's listening, because it is hard. It is hard to distinguish the two.
Hmm.
Just for me, trying it in a short film once, man, it is difficult. I can't stop saying the lines in everyday life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Your brain
so
doesn't know it's real. You get to a point where your brain doesn't really know what's real. Like if you've spent all day screaming and crying about, the scene and the thing that's happened to your character, at some point your brain doesn't really know what acting is. You're doing all the same things that you would do if this horrible traumatic thing really happened. And so your brain, after a while, starts responding the same way, and you're kind of like messed up, and you realize, like, wait, why am I still feeling like this? Why am I still? It's because your brain thinks all this shit really just happened. And so you gotta know how to. Some people, it's just a natural thing where they can turn it on, turn it off. Some people, they kind of get lost in it, and so they have to know how to take care of themselves and shut down and switch out of it. And you kind of learn those things the longer you do it. Depending on what type of actor you are.
got you. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time, bro. I appreciate you taking the time. Running Man is Running Man is fire.
Thank you.
If I ain't seen it, go see it. But thank you again, man. I'm gonna end this on you. One hell of an actor. My wife love you. Keep going, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, that, bro. That's love. Thank you so much. This
Yes,
was
sir.
dope.
I got you. Appreciate it, man.
Till next time, man.
Yes, sir.